Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? It is currently 3:01 p.m. on Thursday afternoon, and I am running around doing errands. I have several things I have to do today. And then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna make some videos. That had been my plan yesterday. By the way, I bit the side of my mouth in my sleep again last night. So, I don't know if the lisp is back, but I'm talking around it. It's not as bad as the times before that I've bit the side of my mouth. I think it's because I sleep on that side. I don't know. But anyway, my plan had been to go home last night and film videos. I had ideas for all of my videos. And then I got home and we had all this stuff that had been delivered. Alex had ordered this bench for our bedroom to go to the end of our bed, and it came. And then both of my chairs for my patio came yesterday. So we had all of these huge boxes, just like they had dropped the two chair boxes off at the end of, or at the, like, right next to the garage door. And then the bench was like right in front of the front door. So I carried the bench inside and took it upstairs. And then I brought the two boxes up close to the front porch. I mean, they're literally, you guys, like 6 feet by 3 feet, these chair boxes. And then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna film videos today. I'm gonna put all this stuff together. I'm gonna be real technological, which I'm not. I'm not technological at all. So I put the, well, with the bench, all I had to do was screw in the legs onto the bench, which I was so proud of myself for doing that. And Alex, like, he like looked at it and he said, apparently I had done it correctly, but I just hadn't turned them one more so that they were all like, they were supposed to go like, I don't know, out or in or something. I didn't look. So he fixed them. And then I started working on one of the chairs out front. You guys, oh my God. It was such a disaster. It took me an hour to just put 2 of the 5 parts together. I was so frustrated. I didn't like, you know, though, back in the day, I would get so, like, I mean, I was frustrated, but back in the day, I would have just been like, screw it, I'm not doing this, and I was actually a little bit more patient with myself than I usually am through stuff like that. But, I told Alex, I said, you're gonna have to help me with these chairs, because I am really struggling, and I don't think I'm doing them right. And so he was like, yeah, babe, I'll help you this weekend do them. So he's gonna help me this weekend. But overnight, we had this huge box, which is in the back of the car right now, just in the walkway on one side. And then, I have the other box like up, and then all the pieces out, but like pushed up against the wall. So I'm gonna have to put those in the garage so they don't look like, you know, trashy over the whole neighborhood. And so then I just have this big empty box. So there's just 2 parks near us that have recycling places. So I'm taking this box to one of the recycling places. I gotta break it down when I get there. And, which I'm really thankful that they have these recycling places so that for big boxes and stuff like that, I can take it there. So I'm headed there right now to this recycling place. I kind of went around, I got my coffee and then I kind of went around in a circle because the traffic to get back because of construction is so bad. So that's what I did last night. And then, what did I do after that? I don't even really remember. I went to bed super early last night. And again, woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't fall back asleep. But this time I woke up. What time did I go to bed? Alex went upstairs. We were watching something. Oh, I went to Meijer and I got some stuff. I got some more of that those Hawaiian roll subs. And then what else did I get? Just some other stuff. And then I made a little meal when I got home. He had gotten fried rice from P.F. Chang's because he was craving fried rice. So we sat there, and what did we watch? We just watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. And then afterwards, it was like, I feel like I went to bed really early last night, like 10 or something. But anyway, he took a shower, and then he came to bed, and then we talked for a little bit. And then because I was kind of in and out of falling asleep, and then he went to sleep and I went to sleep, and oh my God, I woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning and I was like wide awake. And this is part of the problem of going to bed super early for me, is that I'm starting to wake up at like 4 and 6 in the morning and I'm like awake for the day, which maybe I should just get up then. Spam risk. Maybe I should just get up during, then and start my day. But then I'd be like super exhausted by like 2 o'clock. But I guess if I did that, then I could take a nap, from like 2 to 3:30 or something, and then, whatever. So I just tossed and turned. I went and got some water, and I ate some of this sugary crap that I bought from Meijer yesterday for dessert, and I just tossed and turned. And then I finally fell asleep, and then I had to I just passed this. They were having like not a garage sale, but like a yard sale or something. I feel like when I pass like yard sales anymore, like when I was like growing up and we would have a garage sale or something, it was like everybody was like really into like laying everything out and pricing stuff and all of that kind of stuff. Now it's like everybody just kind of throws everything on a table. It's like, here, sale, everything's 50 cents or whatever you want, or just take it. It was like, I just passed and it was like this table that was like small and it was like piled up with stuff. And then it was like 3 lawn chairs, and the 3 lawn chairs were just filled with stuff, and it said sale. What kind of sale is that? You just put your junk in a chair and come buy it. So anyway, what was I gonna say? I don't even know. Yeah, going to bed early and sleeping all night long has kind of messed up my schedule a little bit. I'm gonna try not to do it tonight. Tonight we are going out to dinner with Melissa and Jason, and then when we're done, I'm gonna go vlog, and then I'm gonna listen to my audiobook for a little bit, and then I'm gonna come home and I'm gonna try to be in bed, not super late, but not like, like by like 1 or 2, and then get up at like 10. That's my goal for tomorrow. We'll see how well that works out. That's my goal. I'm not saying that it's gonna happen, but that's my goal. Usually after we go out to eat, I'm so tired that I want to lay down, so I may lay down. We'll just have to see. I have a recovery commitment thing tomorrow that I have to do, so. And then I was gonna have my sponsor come over and help me power wash and seal our patio, because she had volunteered to do that. And like the temperature greatly dropped in Indianapolis, and there was a chance for rain. And I'm like, oh, this is such a mess. And so the company, I looked at the piece of paper, the notice that we got. I guess everybody got this notice about having to have your patio sealed and power washed and sealed. So I read it, and it's like this company in town that they use that will come out there and give you like a free estimate. So I just like filled out the form and asked for a free estimate. So they're gonna come out there today, I think, and give me, today or tomorrow, and give me a free estimate on my patio. They just like look at it and then they like leave it in your mailbox, which is great. So I think I'm just, if it's like super expensive, then I'll just see if she can come out and help me. But because she was like, I love to power wash. But if it's not super expensive, I think I'm just gonna have them do it, because it'll be done really nicely then. And I was like looking at it, and so we had our deck painted, because when they put in a new deck several years ago, the guy was like, oh, you should have it painted, it'll be really nice. Well, our neighbors had theirs painted too. And so I was talking to them, and they said that when they power washed it, it pulled up like a lot of the paint, which obviously, right? And so now it doesn't look as nice as before, because it almost needs to be like repainted. And I mean, I don't really, to be honest with you, care a whole lot about all that kind of stuff. I just want a patio that we can use. I might even get one of those rugs, those patio rugs, to put over it this summer. If I can find one that doesn't retain water, I might just put over it instead. So then it wouldn't even really matter how the deck, I don't really care, honestly. And then I need somebody to do the yard stuff, and then we're set for the summer. The problem is, every time I ask somebody for like a landscaping person to like put in the bushes, they're always like, oh, somebody commented on my video and they said that boxwoods stink. You don't want them too close to your patio. I grew up with boxwoods. I don't remember them stinking, but maybe I have a bad memory. But anyway, I'm gonna ask them for a recommendation of what like grows easily and what is like, you know, is easy to maintain and things like that. And if worse comes to worse, we just won't put in bushes this year. We'll just put mulch down and we'll figure it out next year. But every time I ask people, like, do you know somebody that's like a landscaper? It's either, well, I use this landscaping company, but they're probably too big for something like that, because it's like friends of mine that have businesses. Or they'll say, oh, well, I know this guy, you know, like, and he just does like odd job kind of stuff. But I don't necessarily want somebody that's just an odd job kind of guy. I mean, I need an odd job kind of guy just to do stuff around my house, but that I can't fix on my own. But I don't want somebody like that for my lawn, because I want somebody that knows how to do, like, how to keep, that knows like plants and bushes and like which ones will like do really well there and all that kind of stuff. And then I also want somebody that I can, you know, have them come out like every 4 to 6 weeks and just keep it like really nice throughout the summer. Oh, you know what? I don't remember I think it's Evanston that I go in through. My grandma used to live in Evanston, and I was, well, I wasn't born. I was born in Chicago, but my parents lived in Evanston at the time. Oh, here it is. Isn't that so funny? Caroline and I were going to go try to find my grandma's old house one time, and I don't know, that never ended up happening. Yeah, I've been here like 3 times. Let's see if I remember how to get here. I feel like it just kind of dead ends. This backups, if you're living in Indianapolis and you're looking for a place to bring recycling, this backs up to Broad Ripple Park. And it's by the tennis courts, I remember. Oh yeah, here it is. There's another one apparently at Som Park, but I've never been there. I've been to Som Park many times, but I've never been to, yeah, here's the tennis courts. The Som Park recycling place. It's so funny. Every time I come to this recycling place, there's always a bunch of people, and there's like several people over here. Anyway, I'll show you when I get here, unless there's like people out there. There are these big, huge recycling like things, and then they're like, some of them are for like appliances or glass, and others are for boxes. Yeah, they're just like those big things that, you know, for like construction. Where's the one for the boxes? No trash. Which one is this one? Those are boxes. Here, I'm gonna park. Here you can see it's like these big things, like right here. There you go. You're supposed to break down your boxes, but here, They're not. All right, I'm gonna go break this down and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh my God. I am so out of breath from breaking down that box. You guys, I had this huge box, right? And I'm like trying to break it down, and there's this one over here that says cardboard only, but it has these slots at the top of it for we are supposed to break it down. So I've got this 6 foot by 3 box, you know, that I'm trying to break down and get in there. And there's this guy, and he keeps on bringing all these boxes over, and like one box after another, you know, and he's just looking at me like I'm the world's biggest idiot. And I'm like, I'm trying so hard to get this box broken down, and like really all I need is somebody else to lift up the other end and we can just push it through, because I can't pick it up all together, you know. So he just keeps on looking at me. I just so bad wanted to go, can you help me with this, please? He just looked at me like I was a crazy person. Oh, I got a bunch of texts while I was out. Hold on, let's see. Anyway, so that was my life at the recycling bin. Here you can see there's these recycling bins over there, and then there's those over there. Oh, I didn't put my seats back up. Oh well, I'll do that when I get home. People are out here actually playing tennis. I wonder if these courts are just free for anybody to come and play. They must be. Yeah, because they're just open. They're nice courts. Oh man, I miss playing tennis sometimes. Alex and I always talk about how we're going to start playing tennis again, and then we never do. Okay, so what else do I have to do? Went into the bank, got coffee, did the recycling. There was something else on my list that I had to do. I don't remember it. Look at this modern house right here. How cool is this? Ooh, it's very cool. Look at that house. This is just like in this neighborhood that's like older. I wish I knew the address of my grandma's house. I have it actually at home on the back of a picture because my mom wrote the address. Do you guys want to see the house that my mom grew up in? Okay, let me see if I can find it. It's 52nd and Central. So let me see if I can find it since I'm close over here anyway. I remember my grandma's house on Evanston when I was growing up. She lived, so I don't know when she would have been in that house. I remember my grandma lived in this apartment complex. It doesn't exist anymore. Well, the apartment complex exists, but it's called something else. You know what? I should just go down Evanston and see if any of this reminds me of anything. I think I've done this before, and nothing like this doesn't remind me of anything. But like if I saw it, I would know it kind of thing, but I don't think that I would. It's my grandma's house. I don't remember. Maybe the driveway was to the right and it was gravel, and there was like an old like shed building in the back at the end of the driveway, and then you walked up the stairs and it was like you walked up these cement stairs. It was just like this little small house, and I remember it was I just remember it was kind of a sad house, and it smelled like my grandma smoked like a chimney. It smelled like when you walked inside like cigarette smoke, and her house always smelled like, Caroline talks about this to this day, cigarette smoke and juicy fruit gum. And I can't imagine that she lived this close, because I'm like right in the heart of Broad Ripple right now. I don't feel like she lived this close. I know she didn't have a front porch like that. All these houses are exactly like how I described them, you guys. Like literally every house has a little shed at the end of the driveway with a driveway to the right. Like literally every house. This is so funny. No, these are actually a little bit nicer than what I remember. But she didn't live in there. I asked my dad one time, and he was like, well, she lived on Evanston and she lived on Tacoma. But he didn't know the years. He was like, I think maybe she lived on Evanston when I first met her. And then, which then to find out later, she would have been in prison when my dad and my mom started dating. Is this Chittard High School right here? Did I already come all the way through to Kessler? Oh, I sure did. Yeah, she didn't live this close to Chittard, I would have remembered. But anyway, this is like one of our private high schools, Bishop Chittard High School. Footloose the Musical, April 15th through the 17th, if you want to go see that. I think that'd be kind of fun to go to a musical like that. But my grandma lived on Tacoma. I think that might have been when Caroline and I would have remembered. But so probably from when I was like really young to like 7 or 8, she lived in this house on Tacoma, which I don't remember where it's at. Ralston, Tacoma. I think Tacoma's on the other side of Keystone. But anyway, and then she moved into these apartments, and the apartments were called Knob in the Woods, which is really weird. Like, do you ever have memories about, you don't know why you have a certain memory, and like, or why you think a certain thing? I think they may have caught on fire at some point, and I remember my grandma talking about them catching on fire or something, like not hers, but like just one unit in the apartment complex or something, because like literally this happened the other night. Every time I see something on the news, I just saw this, I was looking through Twitter at real late at night one night, and on the news, like I follow all the news channels on Twitter, they were like, there was some apartment complex that had caught on fire, and I always think of my grandma. I always think of my grandma when I see an apartment complex that caught on fire. I'm like, oh, you know, like that reminds me of my grandma's apartment. I feel like I cut my hand on one of those cardboard boxes, but I don't, there's no cut there, but it feels like I did, which is weird. But anyway, so then my grandma, she moved in like from the house. I don't remember her moving or anything. I just remember she was in the house, and then I remember she was in this apartment complex. So she was in this apartment complex, but I also have a memory of my grandma at some point, I remember her taking Caroline and I to Raggedy Ann and Andy. So when my aunt died, Caroline's cousin that I'm also close with too, she told us that she remembered, was telling a story about a friend of mine that I shouldn't. Anyway, so I remember my grandma taking Caroline and I to, I forgot how great these houses are in here. My mom had a really good friend of hers that lived in her, when she was growing up, in this house right here. My mom's friend Diane. When I talk about Diane lived in that house right there when she was growing up in high school. Isn't that crazy? And my mom would talk about her dad like grilling out steaks and stuff, which is so funny because I can remember when I was growing up that my dad would always like grill out steaks for my friends and I and stuff like that, and always make food out on the patio. Anyway, I remember that my grandma, she took Caroline and I to go see a movie, and I like faintly remember her saying something like, you know, grandma's gonna be gone for a while or whatever. I don't really remember. Okay, so Caroline's cousin on her dad's side, that I'm also really close with, she told us after my aunt died that she remembered my grandma going to prison, like more like, so that would have been when we were like older, right? And so I don't know, maybe she came out and then she moved into the apartments. I have no clue. Like I said, because I don't know the history of it, right? But then I remember she lived at these apartments. There's a whole like restaurant area over there that I didn't know was over there now. How cute is that? She lived in these apartments called Knob in the Woods. And I remember, I mean, I can vividly see them. So those must have been later because I must have been older to remember them better, because I don't remember the house as well as I remember the apartment. And then she lived in that apartment till probably a couple years before she passed away, because then she moved into these apartments closer to my aunt and uncle. And I remember going over there with Caroline. After my grandma had passed away, Caroline used to clean her apartments. And so, I'm trying to figure out where I'm at as far as 52nd Street. Okay, Broadway, and then it should be Central. Where am I at? 52nd. Is this not Central? What is this? Just Kessler. This is Central right here. This is 50th, so I'm like two blocks up from where my mom grew up. Okay, so I remember that she moved into this other apartment, but I don't remember going and visiting her there a lot. I remember she came over to our house a lot. And that's kind of my memory of that. But the Knob in the Wood apartment, I don't know why this truck is like honking at me. I can't go anywhere. What do you want me to do? The Knob in the Woods apartments. Okay, hold on a second, because I'm gonna have to pay attention here. Well, you can see some of these houses are like really, these were not the houses that my mother grew up in, okay? She grew up, my mom would always say, we grew up in a shotgun, and it had a round driveway in front. These are like really nice. This is called Meridian Kessler now, okay? These houses are probably anywhere between, I would say, 800 to 2 million. Even the smallest ones in here. My mom, okay, so this is 58th. We're far away from 52nd. Okay, so, like, do you see these houses? I mean, these houses are fantastic in here. These houses continue to, the equity in these homes just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. So if you buy a house in Meridian Kessler now, like the governor's mansion and stuff is in Meridian Kessler. If you buy a house in Meridian Kessler now, in 2 years, you'd probably gain 50,000 on it. What is this? 57th. Okay. So, but that house that, and this is, I love this neighborhood because there's like little churches here, and then people like, they're walking to like, you know, they walk to their services and stuff, and look, they're constantly redoing these houses to keep them up. I love this neighborhood. I love this area. It's beautiful in here, isn't it? We have so many friends that live in these neighborhoods, and when you go in their houses, you're just like, I mean, you can like see one of these houses, well, some of the smaller ones, when we get up here to where my mom grew up, you'll see they're a lot smaller, but you look inside and you think, oh, it's nothing, like when you walk, and then you walk inside and you're like, oh my God, these homes are like unbelievable. So my grandma lived at Knob in the Woods. It's not called that today, it's called something else, but like I remember her through her back patio, and she was on the first floor, and her bedroom, it like looked out over this long grass, and then there was like, I think there was like a lake with like water there, and then there was like this road in the back. That would be so crazy if I could find that apartment where she was at. Okay, we're at 54th. I've looked this up before on here before. Let me see. I'm just going by what my mom said the last time. I don't know. I remember there was like this round kind of like sidewalk or driveway or something in front, and she was like, oh my God, there it is. And I can remember because she said that my grandma paid like $80 or $90 or $70 a month in rent to live there, and it was for sale at the time that we looked, and this was probably 2 years before my mom passed away, so like 05, 06. And I remember my mom got out and it was like $375 or something, and my mom was just blown away. She was like, I don't even remember how much it was, but I used to go to a meeting at this church when I first got sober. But she was just blown away. She was like, I cannot, okay, we're at 52nd Central. She was like, I can't believe that this is so inexpensive. Okay, so it would have been on this side. See, these houses are all bigger than what my mom grew up in. I have to find the exact address. Yeah. I've done this before, and I go and I look, and it's like... This is it. No. But it has like a driveway kind of thing like that. It's smaller than that. Well, I'm going to keep driving for a second and see if I can find it. It wasn't two-story because my mom used to tell stories about how she and Kathy, it was like, so it was, when she said shotgun, it was like you would go in and it was like living room, dining room, kitchen, like you could shoot a shotgun through it, back door. And then there was 2 bedrooms, one that my Aunt Kathy and my mom shared, and then a bathroom, and then my grandma's bedroom. And that was the house. Can you imagine that for $375? Just to be in this area. There's like one school, I don't know if, oh, this is it, Center for Inquiry. There's like, I was gonna say, there's one IPS school that like everybody in, so IPS is Indianapolis Public School System. It's the public school system for Marion County and Indianapolis. If you live in Marion County, most people send their kids to private schools because the public schools supposedly suck at this point because there's all of these charter schools and things like that, right? Yeah, these are all 2-story. My mom's was 1-story. Maybe it wasn't Central, but I'm almost positive it was. I've done this before in a vlog, and I couldn't find it, I don't think, before either. But anyway, everybody wants to get their kid into, and I think there's a wait list to the Center for Inquiry, because they do like, they have arts classes and languages, and here we're getting into the 1-stories. Was this it? No, that was not it. There's art, all kinds of art classes, music classes, languages, and things like that. And everybody wants to get their kids into that school, which is like crazy. And I've had friends of mine that their kids have gone to that school and done like really, really well. Who was I just talking to the other day? I was like, who was I just talking to the other day? And I said, they were talking about moving, and they live on the north side. Oh, it was Alex's friend that he married. And she said she'd love to be in Meridian Kessler because she loves this area. And I said, well, and she, you know, they're wanting to get pregnant. And I said, well, what would you do as far as schools? And she's like, you know, I hadn't really thought of that. And I said, would you do private schools? And he's like, not, I mean, he's from this area, but doesn't really know, like, because he's been gone for school and stuff for so long. And he was like, well, we didn't need to go to public schools. I have a feeling my mom was not on Central, although she's always talked about Central, so I don't know. 58th and Central, maybe? 56? I can't imagine she was that. Where am I now? What is this? She wasn't at 40th and Central. I'm like way far down. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find the address. This is where, like, my dad wouldn't know. This is where I wish my Aunt Kathy was still alive, because she could just give me the addresses for all of this stuff and she would know. Oh well, it's fun to drive through here and see all these houses. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna do a little U-turn right here. We're gonna go back the other way, because maybe it was more like, I've gone all the way down Central before though, haven't I, in a vlog, and I still couldn't find it then either. What was I gonna say? Yeah, but I was like, where would you have your kids go to school? And he was like, well, I don't feel like our kids need to go to private schools, because we didn't go to private schools and we did just fine. And the problem is that a lot of these IPS schools are closing. There's just not as many, there's not as much funding, and because there's so many charter schools, and even the charter schools, like, so there, IUPUI, which is Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, used to have an art school called Heron Art School, which they still do have the Heron College of Art. But then they turned the old Heron into a charter school. So it is an arts high school for teenagers. It's a charter school. And our friend's daughter goes to that. Well, actually, now that she's a senior, she is going... Where did she transfer to? I can't remember. But, because she moved. But anyway, or because they moved and it's too far away. So... But she loved it there, and everybody that goes to Heron loves it, and it's real liberal, and it's, I mean, it's not just like, you don't just have to go there because you're an artist, but you can take a lot of art classes there, but it's more like liberal-minded thinking and things like that, and there's like the science and math charter schools, and there's always great charter schools, which have wait lists as well, and, so it's, when you live in like Indianapolis, it's like, where are you going to send your kid, you know? And you have to start thinking of that stuff like years in advance to get them on the waiting list. 52nd Illinois. 52nd Illinois. Maybe my mom lived at 52nd in Illinois. I'm at 45th right now, so if I'm going to turn, I probably need to turn here. What is this car doing? It has its hazard lights. Oh, these are people picking up their kids for school. Well, this wasn't very smart. This truck's going to go around me, and this is what I should have done. Yeah, me, I'm gonna do that. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, we'll just stay right here. Well, there's literally, like, all of these, like, cars parked all the way back for the school. Do you know what this reminds me of? I don't know why, but it reminds me of The Undoing. Look at this house on the corner here. Is that not so beautiful, what they're doing over there? To that kind of like roundabout turret over there. I think it's so nice, these neighborhoods that have been around forever are still like kept up so well, you know, that they're still just absolutely beautiful. The trees are beautiful, and you know, it's still super safe to walk around here, and I just think that's great. And I love that right next to the school is First Meridian, which is, they have a Black Lives Matter, and then they also have the gay flag that says all loved, all included next to it. This is like a very, very liberally minded neighborhood around here. Okay, if the next street is Illinois, then maybe it is Illinois. No, Park. 52nd Park. Did she live on Park? Maybe my mom lived on Park. Because Illinois doesn't seem right. I bet she lived on Park. Yeah, because these are smaller houses over here on the right-hand side. Oh, I bet she lived on Park. I'll know it as soon as I see the driveway. You know, all these things that, like, back in the day, it's like, you think about how busy you are, you know, and it's like, my mom back in the day, she would have loved this. Just like, let's drive around and you show me the sights of, you know, where you grew up and all this. Like, look at this house right here, you guys. Okay, so they took this old house and they redid it inside. Look at this. Look at how fantastic this is. Look at that. The new windows and everything. I love it. She did drive me around. I can't remember where we were coming from, but one day she did drive me around and show me all this stuff. But like, this is the kind of stuff that my mom would have absolutely loved back in the day. You know, if I would have just taken a day and just gone out to lunch with her to one of her favorite places when she was growing up, or, you know, driven around and looked at all this kind of stuff. And I just didn't, you know, and it wasn't because I just was always like, oh, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. We get so busy with our lives that the things that mean the most, we don't spend time doing. I think this is it right here, weirdly enough. Nope. I remember vividly, it had this like round thing in the yard. Which could be gone by now, right? Like they could have just gotten rid of that. I think it's important for us to spend time, you know, with the people that we love, doing things like that, spending time with them in those kinds of ways, you know, having them. I think there's a difference between becoming like I think just like focusing on it all the time, and then there's a difference between that and do you know what I should do? Hold on a second. Put my hazard lights on for a second. I am going to look up this, because when Caroline sent me the arrest record for my grandma, okay, it had my grandma's address on there. Photos. Oh, here it is. Nope. Here it is. 5259 Central Avenue. 5259. I'm going to find it. Here we go. Going to find the exact house. 5259. Now I know the exact address. That was the newspaper report from when my grandma was arrested and sent to prison. It's got to be right here. Okay, and you know this whole neighborhood that I said, this neighborhood, I said, well, this is like nicer than where they would have lived. Well, I'm at 52nd right now. So this is 5360. So this neighborhood that I said couldn't possibly be it. Okay, wait, what side am I on? I need to see, okay, 5346. So 50, what did I say, 52? Ah, F. What did I say? Oh, damnation. Photos. Okay, here it is. Sentence to 1 to 5 years in the Indiana Women's Prison. Forging checks. Witnesses testified at her trial last week. Thousands of dollars. 5259. Okay, we're at 53rd. So it's got to be right here. Oh, is this the driveway? No. Here it is, right here. There's the house my mom grew up in. Isn't that so cute? Oh, it does have the little round thing in front, kind of. No, it just has the little walkway going up to the front. That's so crazy. Gosh. So weird. Weird to think of my mom coming out of that, you know, like, and so weird that I drove right by here and I said, I went to a meeting at this church when I first got sober, literally on the same city block as my mom lived. That is so crazy. Which she would never have known that there was a meeting there because that was a different program than my mom went to. God, that's crazy that she lives so close. I didn't realize that she grew up so close to everything. Like right in the middle of everything. Cute house. God, it's crazy, isn't it? I'll have to call Caroline and tell her. Well, thank you guys for coming along with me on my little mini adventure today. And if you would like to see more little mini adventures, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll find places that are meaningful to me in Indianapolis, and then I will go look for them. Won't that be fun? Anyway, I'm gonna get off here now, you guys. I love you. Thank you for riding around with me today, and I will see you in my next video. What do I usually say? I'll see you guys. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I hope you're having an amazing Thursday. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!